Hi, I'm Daniel Andrews, owner and creator of the DAN Show, and welcome to my latest 2021 NFL preview video. Today, I'm going to break down the Buffalo Bills, but before I get started, this is your first time here, I just got to ask you one simple question. Do you like football? Because if so, welcome, because you're in the right place. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and while you're at it, ring the bell. That way you can be notified every time I come out with a new video. Now, if you've been here before, you already know the drill. You go ahead, you give me a thumbs up, and you drop a comment below. Here's how this is going to work. I'm going to give you 3 things I like about the Buffalo Bills, followed up by 3 things I don't like, but stick around to the very end where I break down the Vegas over-under and I reveal if I'm going to put action down on the Bills. So let's get this started with the 3 things I like about the Buffalo Bills. The number one thing I like about the Buffalo Bills is Josh Allen. No quarterback in the NFL has more upside than Josh Allen. This is the most physically gifted quarterback in the NFL by far. But look at the rate of improvement he's had every year he's been in the NFL. In 2018, a 52.8% completion percentage, 10 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Well, the next year he goes from 52.8 to 58.8 completion percentage, 20 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, so he almost doubles his passing touchdowns. And then last year it goes from 58.8 to 69.2, over 10 completion percentage points better, and goes from 20 touchdowns to 37. I mean, he almost doubles that and gets an additional 10 percentage points better as far as his completion percentage. I mean, if he improves even more in 2021, this is going to be the NFL MVP. I mean, his physical upside is easily the best in the NFL. I also think that, now it's debatable, but I also think that he has the strongest arm in the NFL. Mahomes and Chiefs fans might debate that, but in my opinion, Allen's got the strongest arm. Plus, he can run. He can run like he's an NFL tight end. He could probably play middle linebacker if he wanted to. But yes, the number one thing I like about the Buffalo Bills is Josh Allen. The number 2 thing I like about the Buffalo Bills is the trade for Diggs. Now, I'm bringing this up because I have to eat some crow. When the Bills made this trade, I blasted the Bills. I said it was a terrible trade. And I also said that Justin Jefferson, who the Vikings picked with that draft selection, would outperform Diggs. And, well, when I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong. Bottom line, the Bills improved from 10-6 to 13-3. They won the AFC East and advanced to the AFC Championship in a very large part to Stephon Diggs, who just had a fantastic season. So listen, when I'm wrong, I say I'm wrong, and I definitely was wrong about this, so kudos to Bills Mafia. The third thing I like about the Buffalo Bills is more pass rushers. Last year, the Bills didn't have a terrible pass rush. They had 38 sacks, which is tied for 15th in the NFL, but in this defense, you really pressure the quarterback just with your defensive line. This isn't exactly the Tampa 2 defense, but McDermott and Frazier both come from the Tampa 2 defense, which is basically you get pressure with your front 4, and then you want your linebackers to kind of drop back into coverage instead of blitzing them. Now, last year they drafted A.J. Espinosa, defensive end out of Iowa, in the 2nd round. And then this year in rounds 1 and 2, they drafted 2 more defensive ends. And this is important because your 2 starters, Mario Addison, he turns 35 September the 6th, and Jerry Hughes just turned 33. So you do need eventual replacements for these 2 players, and more than likely in obvious passing situations, there's a very good chance you're going to see 3, maybe even 4 defensive end sets. So, hey, look, this defense is built on rushing the quarterback with only 4 pass rushers, so you got to win. So what did they do? They went out and they got more pass rushers, so you got to like that. And just to recap the 3 things I like about the Bills, you got Josh Allen, the trade for Diggs, and more pass rushers. Now, 3 things I don't like about the Buffalo Bills. The first thing I don't like is no number 1 running back. Now, this team was just bad in running the ball last year. And when you have Josh Allen throwing for over 4,500 yards and he completes 69% of his passes, it makes a lot of sense that the Bills were a pass-dominant team. But in the playoffs, their inability to run the ball and being a one-dimensional team really hurt them. They were 20th in rushing yards last year, and that includes 421 by Josh Allen. The difference between Josh Allen running the ball and Kyler Murray or Russell Wilson is that Wilson and Murray are former baseball players. They're experts in sliding and use their speed to run out of bounds. Too often when Josh Allen runs the ball, he's taken unnecessary punishment. Out of 16 rushing touchdowns the Bills had last year, Josh Allen had 8. That's not a good thing. Moss and Singletary are solid number 2 guys, but neither one's really a game changer. And I really thought in the draft or in free agency they would either get a guy with more speed or they may try to get a number 1 running back. But bottom line, for the Bills to move up and advance past the AFC Championship, one of these 2 running backs is going to have to step way up. Or Buffalo might make a move during the season to try to get a better running back. The second thing I don't like about the Buffalo Bills is defensive tackle help. Star Latue, and I'm sorry, I'm butchering his name, after sitting out last year, will come back and he'll help that defensive line and the stuff to run. But he turns 32 in December, and this isn't really a game changer. But again, he may help stuff to run, which is really important because I already mentioned the Bills had a problem running the ball. Well, last year they were bad in stopping the run. Now, last year the Bills gave up 1,914 rushing yards, which was 17th, which is average, but they gave up 21 rushing touchdowns, which was 27th in the NFL, and 4.6 yards per carry, which is 26th. See, the Bills got 2 defensive ends in the draft, but maybe they should have got a defensive tackle instead. This is important because they drafted A.J. Espinosa in the second round last year. Christian Barmore, who was the number 1 defensive tackle, he was chosen by the Patriots 6 picks after the Buffalo Bills selected Gregory Rousseau. So if Barmore ends up being a run stuffer for the Patriots, a division rival, this could be a major mistake. Again, you went after pass rushers, and that's important, but you didn't address a run stuffer, which is very key and important to the Buffalo Bills, especially because this works hand in hand with the third thing I don't like about the Buffalo Bills, and that's the first 6 weeks. In the Bills' first 6 games, 4 of their opponents are playoff teams from the year before. And you also get the Miami Dolphins week 2 in Miami for the Dolphins home opener. This is a big home field advantage for Miami. If you're not familiar, in early September or mid-September, as the case will be here, it's going to be brutally hot, especially for a northern team like the Buffalo Bills. So it's going to be difficult. Now, 3 out of their first 4 games are at home, but the next 2 games are at Kansas City and at Tennessee on Monday Night Football. And these are going to present difficult challenges because Tennessee will obviously run the ball, and Kansas City beat you badly last year twice. And your week 1 game at home versus Pittsburgh is going to present an interesting challenge because you're going to have rookie Najee Harris, who's going to attack that weak rushing defense, especially from the year before. And if he plays well, teams are really going to pick up on the run defense and attack that all year long. I'm sorry, Bills Mafia, but there's a very good chance the Bills could start the season 3-3 before they get a bye. Now, they do finish the season with 3 out of their last 4 games are at home, and they're all winnable games. You got Carolina, Atlanta, and then the Jets is the last game of the season. But this might be out of necessity because the first 6 games of the season is absolutely brutal for the Buffalo Bills. So just to recap the 3 things I don't like about the Bills, I got no running back number 1, defensive tackle help, and I don't like their first 6 weeks. Now, this is the money-making part of the show. This is the advanced class. This is where I break down the Vegas over-under, and I reveal if I'm going to put action down on the Buffalo Bills. The over-under for the Bills is 11, and if you'd like the Bills to win over 11 games, the number is negative 135, which means you have to wager $135 to win 100. But if you like under 11, it's plus 115, so a $100 wager will win you $115. For the Bills to make the playoffs, yes is negative 360, no is plus 300, and to win the AFC East, it's negative 175. Now, originally, I really thought that this was going to be 11 and a half. I didn't think it was going to be 11. And depending on where you're putting action down, you might be able to get 11 and a half. And this is kind of important because I'm looking at the Bills' schedule. I see 11, exactly 11. So if you tell me, do I like the over or under better? I'm leaning towards the over barely, but there's no way I take negative 135. So I strongly suggest not taking any action on the Bills at all. Negative 360 to make the playoffs is a bad number. I don't like negative 175 to win the division. I think the bare minimum you should take for the Bills to win the division would be negative 150, and I don't even like that. Again, I was kind of expecting the over-under to be 11 and a half, and I would be really tempted at 11 and a half to take the under, but here at 11, I'm not really sure. Bottom line, teams that have problems running the ball and stopping the run usually struggle against really good NFL teams. They play a lot of really good teams. The schedule is extremely tough. I mean, you got at Tampa Bay, at Kansas City, you got at the Saints, you got Indianapolis, which you can debate how good Indianapolis is. And then, Pittsburgh's coming. You got Washington. You got at Tennessee. There's a lot of really good football teams and a lot of teams that are going to be really good at running the ball. So I would strongly suggest avoiding betting on the Buffalo Bills. I am not going to bet on the Bills this year, but as far as the numbers that are presented, I'm barely leaning towards over 11 just by a hair because I think 11 wins is what I see the Bills doing. So listen, if you haven't already, give me the thumbs up. Drop a comment below. Even all you Bills Mafia fans that hate me right now, drop a comment below. I really want to hear from you. I got nothing but respect for Bills fans and the Bills Mafia. I just don't think your team's going to be as good as they were last year. So leave a comment below, like the video, and tomorrow I'm going to be breaking down the Kansas City Chiefs. So I will see you tomorrow.